And welcome everybody. Oh my god. Well, welcome everyone to Boston Concessions. I am your host Topher. I'm gonna breathe some nice, good, relaxing time. We're back on TikTok Live, by the way. We are also on YouTube. Also, hit us up on X. Come and welcome us all as we are live. I know I'm a half an hour late. I'm in the midst of a snowstorm that is bugging everything. Internet was actually kicking, so hopefully it's not going to cause any concern while we're going straight forward. And of course, we are live, directly live on YouTube. To say hi to everyone. Oh, today's games were, oh my god, they were something else. Not gonna lie. Um, just the whole aspect of what I was watching. Um, between the Patriots game and the wildness of the Patriots game to the other additives that basically came in with the Seattle game um, against the Rams. Whoa, huge. It's great to always see, and it's great to like get into it and like look. Um, just oh man. Um, lots of comments and everything like that from our boy Primetime Mike. Um, oh man, just seeing like a lot of things as it was happening. There was so much that I can say that just makes me excited. Um, but most of it is I'm just trying to figure like a little bit of it out as I go. So yeah, there's a little stumbling, there's a little bumbling. I'm also a little behind with making sure that what I have on for videos and everything are quite where I need them to be. Um, so we've got the X going, we've got actual YouTube, and then we've got live TikTok because I can't for whatever reason get StreamYard to figure out how to put this friggin' thing, so I've got to use my phone. And it's so disappointing. But first off, before I get into like a lot of things, my hat is lost. It's off to the NFC. You've been the stronger, you've been the more powerhouse, and you've been a lot of things that has basically been going on. But one of the things I will stare at until the day is long. Holy cow and a half. That Rams Seahawks game, down to the wire, whole boatload of fun, everything loaded into it, high scoring too. 31-27, Seahawks coming in. I've said it, I'll say it again. Sam Darnold is a stud. Okay? Stud. Why is he a stud? Because Sam Darnold, for all the reasons whatsoever, that man has just gone above and beyond. Okay? As I get very close to the TikTok folk and you guys, let me break down just the timeline of Sam Darnold. Drafted by the New York Jets. Plays a couple seasons with the New York Jets. They don't build around him. They don't do anything around him. They basically like are starting to think that the man sucks. So what do? They become the Jets. Hey, we're going to get another number one, and we're going to get him in. So what do? They draft Zach Wilson. Stupid. Okay, so you pulled in Zach Wilson. Congratulations. What do you do after that? Oh, well, we're going to pitch Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers, where he is going to be backup. And he sits there, starts a couple games, but then sits there. Knows to the fact that there's a couple issues, but sits there. The man just basically becomes a free agent. What does he do? He links up with Minnesota and goes off. Minnesota wasn't sure what to do with him. They got, what is it, JJ McCarthy? To me, the guy sucks. Okay, injured before like he started. He still hasn't gotten like the pressure points of like being in the league. But Sam Darnold went off on being a Minnesota Viking. I think got him to the playoffs, was pitching all this greatness. Sam was growing. He was a weed. Now you have him in Seattle. And he took Seattle and was like, hey, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. So the growth of Sam Darnold is probably one of the best stories I could ever tell you. Not really. I've got a lot of stories I can tell you guys. But the growth and the passion of Sam Darnold doing what he's doing, oh, man. But like I said, that Rams Seahawks game was phenomenal. No scoring in the fourth quarter. Both teams scoring twice in the third. Back and forth between quarter one and quarter two. It was 13-17 going into the half. Yeesh. My God. Matt Stafford, or some people as Mr. MVP, 22 of 35, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack, 127.6 touchdown rating. And I can say it. He distributed the passing around of the ball. Okay? Corum got 9 attempts. Williams got 10. Oh, no, wait, that's rushing. That's rushing. Nope. Oh, no, wait, he passed around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 receivers. The highest was Puka Nacua with 9 receptions for 165 yards. You know what this tells me? This tells me either Kayshon Boutte is going to have a game when he goes up against Seattle, or Stephon Diggs is going to blow up. I'll tell you straight. Okay? Because Devontae Adams had 4 receptions for 89 yards. Parkinson had 3 for 62. Corum had 3 for 24. Williams had 2 for 22. And the Rams don't have a powerful run defense. So, of course, they were running all over the place. They were letting people have it. They were going. And what do I have now? I have so much to play with. Primetime, Mike, what's happening, buddy? There's so much to play with when you now have to dissect Seattle. And trust me, after I'm done with the NFC, there's a reason why I'm going into the NFC right now. I could play a clip right now from Hook. What am I playing with? See? Even Primetime Mike knows. What am I playing with? He knows. He knows what's going on. But going back to like even the Seahawks right now, it's Sam Darnold. 25 for 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 sacks. You know, both NFC teams allowed 3 touchdowns. Okay? There was the rushing touchdown. I don't think anybody from the Rams had a rushing touchdown. Nope. So the Seahawks had the one. Okay. And you have to look at everything as it goes. This was probably one of the biggest games. And to me, the NFC is going to have home field advantage. I don't care if you just say, hey, the AFC has it. No, the NFC is going to have it because Seattle is just north of where they're having the Super Bowl. We are the East Coasters going to the West Coast. Okay? Santa Clara is going to be raided by the Patriots. And it's okay. We're going to go in. And it's going to be as lucky as can be. Yep, that's right. I'm going to sing too. Why? Because I'm happy about this. Why am I happy? Because if the Rams won, it exposes a lot of things with Matt Stafford. Because he's only known for his 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers. The moment of rushing between the other team and what it was going to mean for the Seahawks. How is this going to affect everything going on now? In my eyes, to me, this would be probably one of the biggest things you can look at, especially when you're going for an MVP. Most valuable player of the league to carry yourself as highly regarded, even going into the playoffs. You have to play to your team. You have to cater to the team. Man, you played in Seattle, in Lumen Field, and you had everything handed to you. You did. You didn't have the elements, but you were in Seattle. You weren't in St. Louis. You were in Seattle. And you had to play that. You had to play that because that's stomping grounds. That's a place that, do you really want to go for a rubber match to Seattle? No, but you're going to have to. And you should have played harder. Because the last time the Rams played the Seahawks, December 18th, the Seahawks won by a point. This time they won by 4. And I'm watching how they're going downfield. I'm watching how they're adjusting with everything around them. This should have been, we score, we do it. And it was kind of like at the end, you're looking at Matt Stafford and he's kind of getting shut down with his 2 main receivers. He's getting small yardage, but there wasn't a lot of grasp for someone to go downfield and be like, this is going to be it. I froze. That was a lot of what I saw. And now you get a Seahawks team against a Patriots team that, are the Seahawks like high rated for defense? Yeah, they're not bad. Not bad. Can I say they're beatable? Sure. There's points I can make that, looking at Seattle, you can't fully run on them. But what you can do is you can pass on them if proper. And I say that because when I look at a lot of things, one of the things I saw was Brock Purdy banged up. Ricky Percival wasn't in the game. George Kittle wasn't available or adaptable. So you lost a lot of your physical attributes to what makes you you, especially for being a Niner, which is why they got blown out 41-6. And that was even a game that, well, Mac Jones came in and played. Was there a lot that basically left it on the mind of the Niners fans? No. It was everything done right by Seattle, and the Niners just kind of shot themselves in the foot. I mean, what also do you do when Christian McCaffrey's doing as much as possible, but not letting you do as much as possible? That's a rural breakdown of what you can look at. If I look at like even the box score, or even like was it the game? Was it the game center? The fuck are the? Oh my god! I love how I'm trying to get the box score for crying out loud. It's not showing me shit. Yeah, Brock Purdy was 15 for 27, 140 yards with an interception. That was it. Mac Jones came in. He was 2 for 4, 4 yards. Sam Darnold was also 12 for 17 with 124 yards. Walker did it on the ground with 116 with 3 touchdowns. There was no defense for the Niners. There was nothing. Nothing holding them down. 116 yards. Cooper Kupp had 5 catches for 60. Smith Nagiba had 1 touchdown, but he had 19 yards total. There's a lot that, when you look at anything on this, it's horrible. So now you have to look at everything else. But on the NFC side, stronger team basically took it. They're showing. They're showing and growing. The one thing that makes me a little bit more excited for the Seahawks, second year coach, no Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson gone, Geno Smith gone. The days of the big defense in Seattle, their defense is good, but it's not as good as when they won the Super Bowl, and it's damn sure not as good as what you had when you played them prior. Whole new game, whole new offense, whole new defense, strength within everything it's carrying. It's a damn good team. But are they beatable? That's where you have to like look at it. Are they beatable? Going down to like week 18, yeah, they're beatable. If I go into the game center, everything to load. Now the Seahawks were 14-3. San Francisco was 12-5. And I believe the Patriots also were 14-3. Lose 4 games, come back, win 14. So you got the same record, but who did they lose to? They lost week 11 against the Rams by 2. They lost to Tampa Bay by 3. and they lost their first game against San Francisco 17-13. So when San Francisco is a full loaded team, they beat them. When they're injured, depleted, everything in between, well, because I mean, then you look at what else they played. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we lost to them in the beginning part of the year. Steelers, Saints, Cardinals. They lost to Tampa Bay. We beat them. They beat Jacksonville, Houston, and they beat Houston by 8 points. They beat the Commanders, but the Commanders weren't good this year. They whooped the Cardinals, lost to the Rams, beat the Titans. They beat the Titans by 6, by the way. Minnesota shut them out. Nobody cared. They obliterated the Falcons 37-9. Played the Colts. And I believe this is Daniel Jones was out. But they only won by 2. Then week 16, they played the Rams. It was 38-37, final in overtime. Week 17, well, 27-10 Carolina, and then 13-3 on week 18. But I don't think they played like highlights of what it was. I almost want to look at this and be like, I'm excited. Because I am. Woo! I am. I'm excited. Don't let the yawn fool you. I am excited. You know why? Because Patriots beat the Broncos to get into the Super Bowl. And was it a big game? No. Left its statement 10-7. Ball control, everything handled, everything going with the elements. It was a rocky sight. And why? Because the Broncos had the same record as you. They were the same aspect as you. Everything was loaded to where they needed to be, except for their quarterback. Now, it is stated to the fact that like, a lot of people, well, Brock Purdy would have made a big difference. Like, you're right. He would have made a big difference. He could have also made a lot of missteps. He could have had like a couple extra issues. The thing is it could have went the same way. The problem is he didn't play. Stidham did. Can you fault him? No. Can you fault anybody? No. Well, you can fault the Bills. You can fault the referees from the Bills game. Because the Bills should have, and I mean should have, lost with the hold in the end zone and Josh Allen in the end zone where the penalty happened, but instead we get interception gate. Yes, the interception that's still talked about, that is still holding everybody back, that is, what? Oh, yeah. Interception gate. It makes me tired. And before I get into the Patriots, I'll tell you why it makes me tired. When you have somebody that makes a ruling, it's great. Why did you make the ruling? Because it's what we saw, what we felt, and what we did. Okay, cool. Did you need a reason to go and look this game up? No. Why? Because we felt what we did, how we did it, how we called it was good enough. All right. Fair. Why though? What what made it seem? And you know what you know what catches my eye besides TikTok? Yeah, they're down there. Take I was about to say TikTok. The part that catches my eye is this. When someone goes to explain a video or a play in question, and the first thing they do is they show a still framed shot. It's like if I'm sitting here on YouTube, okay, and all of a sudden it's like, unstopped. Okay, cool. I'm not, wait. What does that show? My mouth didn't move. Oh boy. What does it show? Nothing at all. So when it's like, hey, I've got this, I've got it, I'm holding it. What don't you show? You show your hand on the top, your hand on the bottom. Yes, it's a nice can. Okay, who knew I had nice cans? Well, me. But your hand is firmly grasped, okay? And like Patrick says, firmly grasp it. You're right. You grasp it from the bottom, top and bottom. Now, what happens if you're looking at it like this? Are you firmly grasping it? No. Did the ball move? Yes. The problem is people don't want to see that. They don't want to have the conversation. They don't want to face what you're saying, what you're doing, how you're doing it. No, the only thing that they look at is, well, he held the ball and then his knee hit the ground. He was down by contact because he was touched. Was the ball moving? No, no, he had it. Look, here's a screenshot. When that man is starting to come downward before his knee touches the ground, is the shot they show. And then the next shot that they show is where the knee hits the ground and he's holding on to it. And what do you see? You see the ball in a different position. Now, does he Patrick Starfish the ball, meaning firmly grasp it? No. He does not firmly grasp it. No matter what you say, no matter how you say it, no matter what you do, how you do it, whatever you're doing, no, you did not firmly grasp it. Now, Topher, why do you say that he didn't firmly grasp it? Is because when his knee hit, the ball was in a different position. And with the ball being in a different position, it means in his hand, it was moving. Take Cooper Kupp, for example, tonight, okay? San Francisco, LA. The man caught the ball, his back hit the turf, and he stretched out to show where the ball was on the line. So he reached out for where he was before his back went down and before he was tackled. When he landed, he turned over. And from him turning over, the ball came out. Now the difference is that man had the ball like so, and then took his hands, firmly grasping, and extended, showing that he is the catcher, and he is stretching out to show exactly what's going on. but he's showing control. Brandon Cooks couldn't show control, which is why Jaquan McMillan was able to pop the ball and come up with it and go, hey, this is mine. When people understand that, for once, you can move on with your lives. But Bills and everything, I'm sick and tired of these referees getting this shit wrong. Where? Even the catch with Davante Adams. The difference to it was Davante Adams jumped up, caught the ball, brought it down. You know what happened when he went down to the ground? And then he was down by contact? The ball did not move from his hands. It went down to his side and did not move. When he finally made the ground, he survived the ground, except for the player that pushed the ball out. No ball movement was harmed in the catching of that play. Okay, who you are, how you are. Ball didn't move. But here come the skeptics. Oh, that play is similar to our play. And they call that a catch. Yeah. Because it's not. Where did Davante Adams go? Up, down. Football move was pulling the ball to his hands. What did Brandon Cooks do? Up, down, roll. What happened with the ball when he rolled? Did he have control? Did he TikTok? Did he have control? No. He didn't. And one of the outcomes that I love, that's always said, is, well, even Denver fans are complaining about it. Yeah. Denver fans are not complaining about it for one simple reason. They're not complaining about it because they've moved on. But also, they had a bigger concern. Hey, our quarterback went down. Our quarterback broke a bone or fractured a bone in his foot and he can't walk. So now he can't play the championship game. But why? Oh, right. Because of the referees. See, when you show a catch, you should show from 5 different angles. You know why? You show the catch, you show the pull and control, you show to where it's against the body being held, and you show to the fact of like where the player is moving and making sure the ball is firmly grasped. That's the easiest one to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lay it on the line, lay it out, play it like a card game. Hell, show it as a moving picture. It's okay. Because guess what? It's still going to show the same outcome. You're going to show the catch, the pull down, the ball slipping out, the knee hitting down, and then you're also going to see the ball start moving outward, and then you're going to see the defender coming up with the ball. How? Sleight of hand to magic. Because the ball moved. Now, let's show the other side that Denver fans were pissed about. Denver fans were pissed because Josh Allen backed up to throw and he goes in the end zone because he's on that side of the field. And sure enough, a defensive lineman for the Denver Broncos goes into the end zone to take out Josh Allen. But he can't get to Josh Allen. Why can he not get to Josh? Why can he not get over there and cause him to panic? Put his hands on him. Sack him. Pull him down. Get him in the end zone. What's that you say? He's held? No. I'm not believing it. He was held? I don't think that's exciting. But it happened. And guess what the refs didn't do? They didn't call it. Had they called it, a safety would have been given. What would the safety have done? Game over. 2 points awarded to Denver. Bo Nix might have got injured during practice. Might have got injured during the Patriots game. Might have slipped and fell on a banana peel. We'll never know. Why? Because the penalty was never called. And the penalty not being called caused the Broncos to ride into the championship game. Or ride into overtime, where they had to kick the field goal. And Bo Nix was taken out. It's a shame. But it's how the cookie crumbled. Like Denver now. Denver, with the aspect of Jared Stidham wanting to kind of flick the ball over to somebody, before he flicked it over, his hands were contacted by a Patriots player. Now, there's 2 ways you could have ruled it. You could have ruled it as they did. Backwards pass. Patriots pick it up. But don't award him the touchdown. Let's call it first down, Patriots. Not the way it would have went, but it's what they called. What would I have called? Fumble! Topher, why would you have called it a fumble? It's not. Oh, yes, it is. I hate to break it to anybody, but if that play was reversed or reviewed and looked over again, you would have seen Jared Stidham made a pump fake his first go. Did not throw the ball, did not do anything, but pump faked and went to go pull the ball back in. Upon pulling the ball back in, he then went to shuffle pass. During the motion of a shuffle pass, because it is not a overborne pass, it is just a taking of the ball and flicking it to somebody. As his hand momentum comes in, a Patriots player makes contact with his hand. You know what it does? It pushes the ball to go behind him. But not only does it push the ball to go behind him, it can be seen as the hand making contact with the other hand with the ball in play. The ball was then released. I believe they call that a fumble. That being a fumble, what happens? Patriots pick it up, run it in. Hey, touchdown. Don't play that ball dead. Get back over here. Either which way, the Patriots then went right down. Drake May, whoop, right in the score. Hooray! people are still, oh, it was a forward pass. It should have been incomplete. No. That's the points that I can state that drive me nuts. Now, in the aspect of fairness, I've also gotten on the other hand, well, Drake May really hasn't played all too great, and I don't trust his metric play. I'm like, okay, cool. You don't trust his metric play. Let me back up a minute. We played a top 5 defense in the LA Chargers. Drake May was able to move on his feet and make some plays. His O-line let him down. He was sacked. He fumbled a couple times. And okay, yeah. Granted, it was a sloppy game. Did they win? Oh, yeah. They won. Hey, wait. There's another team on here. The Houston Texans. Ranked number 1 overall. Excelling in passing and rush defense. Couple fumbles for Drake. Yeah. Hey, what is it that Drake May did that no other team did except for Arizona against Houston? Oh, that's right. Throw 3 touchdowns in a game. It's like Drake May became Al Bundy and scored. That's right, Peg. I went down the field and I scored. Who said I had to go to the bedroom? And you're right. Because the only person to do that, besides Drake May, in the playoffs, mind you, was Arizona and Jacoby Brissett throwing 3 touchdowns in that game. That was the regular season. So what did you do? You basically picked apart the number 1 defense overall. The Chargers, top-ranked scoring defense. Still a top defense there. But then you played the Denver Broncos. Not only did you play the Denver Broncos in Mile High, but they're known for allowing the fewest points. And Drake May scurried in to score. Borregales kicked a 3-point field goal. And Jarrett Stidham threw a touchdown. And an interception. So, what's the metric I'm saying here? You basically took the top 3 defending AFC teams that were high on their defense. 5, 1, and 3. And you, being the New England Patriots, kicked out the 5, toppled the 1, and limited the 3. Where are the Seattle Seahawks? 6. They led in key defensive metrics, including lowest yards per game allowed in some projections. Do you know what that states? I'm going to look it up here, but That basically states that you're going to have some motions to do. And the pros of it are you going to be able to like withstand them? Because they allowed a league low 17.2 points per game. Seattle's unit, if anybody knows how inappropriate I am, I just get a kick out of that. Seattle's unit, which have all pros, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, and Devon Witherspoon, rank first against the run and fifth against the pass. So you basically have those factors. So the Seahawks, according to this key factor piece, they were the number one overall defense, even though they say Houston was the overall defense. Now they're saying Seattle is. Seahawks rated fifth against the pass. They used cover two. And if they do, 33.1% of dropbacks on a cover two, you can do multiple things. If you have the means to go downfield, you can. But if you also have those guys to like hover the middle, you can. The biggest thing I'll say that was a thorn in Denver's side was Drake May getting Mac Hollins back. Because Mac Hollins made two beautiful receptions that made the biggest ordeal with how to handle going forward. It's knowing what you have. Stephon Diggs making some nice catches. That's possible. Kayshon Boutte was well covered. But again, when you've got the booty covered. Oh, you saw what I did there. Stephon Diggs, chance to be open. Mac Hollins, chance to be open. Demario Douglas, chance to be open. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, chance to be open. Ramondre Stevenson, which Drake May bulleted down the field to. Unfortunately, he was hit and knocked down. Kind of like Mac Jones, like look when he went down, though. But is it possible that you're going to face this and be able to beat them? Yeah. Because right now, the Patriots enter with a 17-3 record. 14-3 regular season, 3 wins in the postseason. And it's beautiful because Mike Vrabel, first-year coach, versus McCarthy, second-year coach for Seattle? Sam Darnold versus Drake May? Drake May going to be able to run because that's what he does? Have Ramondre Stevenson, Trevion Henderson, everybody I listed in order to catch a ball. There's not one guy that sits there and does simple things. And maybe right now the offensive line is probably their weakest point. But Christian Gonzalez, all pro this year. Marcus Jones, Davis. These are guys that are going to make huge, huge impacts. Christian Barmore loves the taste of quarterback because it's his sack snack. I'm never saying that again. But it's now embedded with whatever the hell this live is. The beauty part, though, when I'm looking at this, is probably going to be the check down play. Because when you get the check down play, Ramondre Stevenson is right there. He's going to eat up yards. But Seattle does the same thing. It's knowing who is in your wheelhouse, who will be able to handle everything. And the only one thing I can say is who doubted us? Who sat there and played the form of, I'm going to doubt you? I know a lot of people on my TikTok sat there and doubted me. I know a lot of people everywhere that, commented, oh, you got the easy, soft schedule. You've got this, and you've got this, and you got this, and this. Keep it up. Keep going. Okay? Keep calling it out for what it is. Because you know why? I keep laughing. I love when people sit here, oh, you've got a soft schedule. That's fine. The Rams had the softest one since, I can't think of that bear's name, Snuggle. He was soft. He still is. He gets your clothes nice and smooth and clean. Soft. Everyone loves him. What's the point of him, though? Easy. It's Rams 2019 soft schedule. I mean, hell, the Chiefs even had like one of the softest schedules. They won. And everybody raved about Patrick Mahomes. What's your point? Who cares? Get over it. You know why I laugh at soft schedules? Because nobody made a real big deal about soft schedules until the Patriots started winning. There's a video on TikTok that I brought up, which is, are people afraid of the Patriots? And people started saying, no, we're not afraid. No. Yeah, you are. You know why? And on TikTok, I'm looking at you right now, too. You know why people are afraid of the Patriots? We dumped our coach after 1 year. We got rid of one of our number one draft picks in Mac Jones. We got rid of Gerard Mayo. We had a lot of things going on the team. In comes Mike Vrabel. We draft Drake May. We go through so much of what we get. We drop a lot of players. But in comes Mike Vrabel. And I meant that as Mike Vrabel coming in to take over for Drake May. But we drafted him. Then we fired our coach. Then Mike Vrabel came in. Correct myself a little bit. It is also 1:30. But you had this happen. And then what? Well, first off, Drake May's first season, he went 4-13. Didn't play the full season because Gerard Mayo didn't think he was ready. Kind of a kick in the pants if you think about it. Here you've got this kid who could show off throughout the whole season, and you hold him back because you thought Jacoby Brissett was a better quarterback. No wonder why he got fired. But what did Drake May? Drake May had a good season for what he could do. But then year 2, it was like, hey, I'm stepping in. Gonna do a lot of things. Gonna make it happen. So what? He lost against he lost against LA. Or in this case, they're no longer LA. They're Las Vegas. They didn't win by much. They won by a possession. That's okay. They played the Steelers. They lost. Did they lose by a lot? No. Did they lose by a possession? Yeah. Were the Steelers hot and heavy at the beginning of the year? Yeah. We played a lot of teams. We went on a 10-game win streak. We beat Miami twice. We beat the Jets twice. We beat the Bills. And that's enough. By the way, to those that I know will probably listen to this later on the podcast section, I held up a 1. So what can I really scream about this whole thing? There's methods that I can look at that teams at the beginning of the year were not soft. We're not simple. I think I said in one of the other podcasts, when you include teams like Tampa Bay, you wanted Drake May to play Tampa Bay, and he did, and he beat them. Why was it a big ordeal? It's easy. Because when you're sitting there playing Tampa Bay, one of the things that stated was Baker Mayfield, at the time of going to play the Patriots, he was locked in as a finalist and would be a presenter to get the MVP. He was one of the guys coming out of the woodwork. So, okay, this team at the time played the Patriots. They lost. Patriots won. What did everybody say? Oh, they didn't play this team. Here's the part that still makes me laugh. Okay? When people talk about the Patriots, it's sour. It's bad. It's like milk. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's one of those moments. Ugh. Okay, cool. We're happy for you. But don't sit there and tell us, oh, it's because you did this. Okay. So there's the goalpost now. Where do we have to go? Oh, you have to beat this team. Okay. But they do this and this. Cool. We beat them. No, it wasn't fair. Let's keep moving the goalpost, please. Because here's the part that will right now make me laugh. When the Patriots say, we all we got, we all we need, is kind of like what I do in my motto right now for my real life thing. I've had a lot of people that have shunned me, screwed me, left me high and dry, basically told me I'm a putz. I shouldn't run a business. I shouldn't be talking about sports. I shouldn't be doing anything. But then I think of the mantra that the Patriots are going off now. We all we got, we all we need. Well, if I'm all I got and I'm all I need, that's all I need to hear. And that's what the Patriots have been doing. Everybody has been moving the goalpost. Soft schedule. Can't play top tier defenses. Can't play a top tier offense. Their defense is whack. They can't do nothing. To me, it makes me Laugh. Why? Because if I sit there and listen to every single person when they say something like that, it becomes the joke. They played a soft team, you know? And it's already starting. I'm on the NFL, like on ESPN page. And you know, it's still one of those, hey, either which way, it's horrible. You know? And the one thing I will say with what one of the persons put, the second half conditions were rough to play football in. So what did the Patriots do for the first half? They got 7 points. They also got Denver their second points. So 7-7. And then before the conditions got bad, it became 10-7. And it's funny how Tony Romo and I think it's Jim Nance who's on with him. But they made a comment that just made my brain kind of go, what did you just say? And one of the things that was said was exactly this. I kid you not. Well, Sean Payton chose the correct way to the field because now the way they're going to be throwing is the wind is going to go to the quarterback's back and it's going to help him throw better. First off, you're talking about Jared Stidham. Come on. Secondly, one of the comments I made was very simple. If he's throwing to receivers and receivers are running a route and then turning around and going to look at the ball, hey, which way's the weather hitting me? Did anybody think of that? Did anybody put that one together? I'm going to turn around and see a ball. Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to see a brown dot coming at me. I might not be able to know how to judge it. It might hit me in the nuts. It might hit me in the hands. It might hit me dead on my noggin and go in the air. Who's supposed to be blamed for that then? But no, everybody ran softly. Ramondre Stevenson slipped on the 2-yard line. And then Drake May at the 4.5. Conditions were bad. What more did you want? Stidham finally accepted to, hey, I've got a chuck. Christian Gonzalez was right there. He knew he was throwing the ball. Come on. That might have been a bigger score, and I probably would have given Jared Stidham a little bit more credit had the weather not played a factor. But you know something? Drake May still worked his feet. I think he had close to 80 yards. It's get over it. Things happen. I do like this comment. Till this day, I don't know why the Vikings let go of Sam Darnold. I don't either. Because I really don't. Because here's the other aspect. Drake May would have done as he did. Okay, we'll give him that. Bo Nix might have struggled because of who the Patriots were. And then who knows what he would have did in the second half, considering the snow, elements, sleet. He might have tried to run and slipped. He could have fumbled twice. You know, you got to be careful with what you wish for because they can change outcomes of games in a worse situation. Because, oh, well, you know, if we had Bo Nix and he was running, yeah? And if he was running and he fumbled, you'd be bitching. Yes, I'll finish your sentence. He could have ran for touchdowns, first downs, getting this, doing that. It would have been a great day for Bo Nix. But he could have fumbled. He could have played horrible. He could have had a moment where it was oopsie. Then what? What's he left with then? People making fun of him. People saying like a lot of things. That's what you got to look for. You know? I'm just looking for like some of the dead-eye comments. I like this. If the Seahawks beat the Rams, you might as well give them the Lombardi. I can't even say that because I know the NFC is a tough pill to swallow. But there is somebody that makes a valid point that I was actually going to bring up. The last time Sam Darnold had played a Patriots team, he did horrible. There was always knowing that Sam Darnold saw ghosts when he played the Pats. Was that his younger self? Or was that just hi, I played for the Jets, so, you know, here's my hype. Here's where this goes in and kind of like goes down. You know, I see a lot of possibilities between both teams. And before we get to Super Bowl, we're going to have 2 weeks to talk about this. We even got the Pro Bowl. Oh, who cares? But I know the answer to this, and I'll answer it after I even ask. The Patriots went into the regular season and reversed their course, especially with Mike Vrabel, becoming a 14-3 win team. Mike Vrabel is now the first coach to win a Super Bowl and then go to a Super Bowl to have a chance to win as a coach. One as a player. Now the possibility of winning as a coach with that same team. And the one thing that strikes my head, like really, really plays around with my noodle. You have the Patriots right now, Super Bowl. They're in there. I asked the question a little differently beforehand. And the way I asked the question was simple and easy and effective. You're now in the Super Bowl. If you lose, is it a losing season? That's what I want to know. In my eyes, the Patriots are truly winners. And the reason why I say they're truly winners is because I think they maxed out at 9 wins, according to everybody. 8 or 9 wins. That's basically where you're calling it. You're not going anything further. 5 extra wins. And made a huge difference. Each playoff game told you're going to lose. Well, they stood together. They functioned together. We all we got. We all we need. Now they're bound to the Super Bowl. With them now going to the Super Bowl, does it constitute a bad season if they lose? Well, I asked the question because before they played a playoff game, does a 14-3 season constitute a bad year if they're out the first round of the playoffs? Every person, no, they're the Patriots. They had a really, really bad season last year. They came in and completely turned it around, complete 180. They're going to carry themselves. But if they don't, you ended up 14-3. We have next year, which most of the guys are under contract anyway. So you're not losing a lot of guys. You're losing 1 or 2 like little bugs, but why would you not want to come back to this team? I then kind of like glanced it over like after playing Houston. You got past the first round. Now you're on round 2. What? What happens if you don't go forward again? Still a great season. And I ask it now. You just beat 3 of the top tier defenses in the league. You now have to go up against another top tier defense and play your heart out. Nothing could be any more limelight, pressure, etc. You got everything watching you now. What happens if it doesn't work? There's probably going to be fans that come out and sit there and give Drake May one hell of a run. You know, they'll probably come out and say like a lot of things. But again, the point to it is, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? How are you facing it? So, to me, yes, I'm okay if they lose. But besides to the fact of like seeing if they lose, what happens if they win? I'll change my narrative for a moment really quickly while I'm looking at a couple things. What happens if the Patriots win? I get it. They lose. You know, it's like Homer. You lose, you're out of the family. Okay. But we love them. They played hard. They played gritty. You're at the last spot. You crossed the line. This is what everybody has told you you are not going to get here. I think if I look at this, my level of disappointment at the end of the season was at 0. And the first 2 playoff games, I think, put me to like 35%. I'd be a little disappointed because I probably expected a little bit better out of them. But I understand where it comes from with them being where they are. It's okay if you lose. I think playing Denver now kind of reversed me a little bit to where I'm a little bit disappointed. I'd probably be at 40%, but there's still that 60 that I'm going to go ham. And I think my 60-40 has switched. If they lose the Super Bowl, I'm still going to be ecstatic to the fact of where this team came from. What they did, how they changed the culture, the narrative. But I was talking about Gerard Mayo when I started this podcast. And one of the things I always said about Gerard Mayo was simple. Body language explained he didn't want to be there. He came out with so much passion, so much panache, so much inviting of what he wanted with this team, where he wanted to bring this team, what he wanted to do and accomplish with the team. And he didn't. Because it seemed like he was catering to other people, getting ideas from other people, holding the line for what he thought was, hey, we're going to get this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to change the narrative of this team to what it needs. And you look at the body language and it was flat. There was nothing good about that. Nothing. Now, especially where Gerard Mayo went out at the end of the year, and whether he meant to or not, he sat there and he won the last game of the year. Should he have? A lot of people would say he should have tanked. You know, you're going to get the top pick either which way. But it depends if you're a number 1 or number 2. No, you took the other road. You won the game. Congrats on number 3. Now, of course, everybody was going with Caleb Williams, and then, so you had Bo Nix basically flat out at 3. And there he was. No, wait, I'm sorry. It was Will Campbell to the fact of like who we were drafting for. I got my years mixed up. I'm old, man. For me, looking at a lot of things that were changing the narrative, I think it was, for me, I still wanted to see where, now that I'm remembering it right, I still wanted to see how Mac Jones could really do under a good OC, a good offensive line, a good hold in what you would get, a good wide receiver at his disposal, another Jacoby Myers, someone like to hint around what you could do with Hunter Henry. I would have loved to see what he would have been able to do with the growth of Kayshon Boutte, the growth of Demario Douglas. pulling in a guy like Mac Hollins, pulling in a guy like Stephon Diggs, you know, showing that tenacity of what you would have having Will Campbell right there if he was. But I think in the flip, you might not have drafted and picked Mac Jones. You might have picked Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, you could have went complete wideout. There was a lot of things that you were looking at with the number 3 pick. One of them, of course, was going to be who was going to be your guy? Who was going to be your overload? Who was going to be the one to carry everything you were doing? It was either going to be a quarterback or it was going to be someone that's going to heighten up the team to get them to where they needed to be. And what you were looking at was you were looking at guys in that, in that spread, in that narrative. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is he's a mover of that nail. He doesn't sit there and just say, hey, whatever. He moves it. He shakes it. Makes it known for what it is. Puts it in there. Great. Cool. Instead, we drafted May. And then gave Drake May to Gerard Mayo. And what did Gerard Mayo do? Kind of flopped half of it. Didn't go heavy. Didn't go crazy. But look at Vrabes and look at Mayo. Tell me, without telling me, that there's a difference in coach. I'll explain why. When somebody goes down, Mike Vrabel goes out to check on them. That's Mike Vrabel getting right in there. Hey, guess what? Guy intercepted a really good pass and he's going downfield, 80-something yards. Gerard Mayo would be like, oh, look. Mike Vrabel, he's 2/3 of the way down the field running with the kid. What was it? Was it Antonio Gibson? Don't anybody forget Antonio Gibson's still on this team. But I think it was Antonio Gibson where that man decided to sprint and run off. It was either during Antonio Gibson or Marcus Jones, but one of them ran off. And where was Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel was chasing him. He was excited. He was beyond ecstatic. Where was Gerard Mayo? Probably would have been sitting back, ignoring a lot of things. The power of what you look at is amazing. Because I stated it probably before the firing. Mayo, I think, was all talk over his head, and I think that's why he hasn't even been viewed as even a coaching prospect this year. There's a lot of coaches that are changing tunes. Mike McCarthy becoming the new Steelers coach. He's the 4th coach since the 60s. Hey! I forget who the first coach was. And then I think he retired and went to Coach Coward, then went to Mike Tomlin, and now it's Mike McCarthy. I actually thought Mike McCarthy was going down to Miami. Still not locked in who their new coach is. Still think they could have did a little better. Kevin Stefanski, I'm still on the fence about with him going to Atlanta. I know we talked about it a wee bit with um, with Josh from SSPN. There's a lot of things that, like, that were going on, and a lot of things that we just didn't really see. Um, but I know 2026, 2027 season is going to be incredibly different because we could be walking in Super Bowl champions. And then we've got our schedule laid out, and everybody, oh, it's going to be a tougher schedule. That's fine. Here's the point I want to make to everybody about a soft schedule. I've said it on here before. I'll reiterate myself because we've got some new people. A soft schedule is only for how the other team produces. You can't say it's soft because here's the difference. Put the narrative flip with everything, and if Jaden Daniels doesn't get injured and the Washington Commanders are still carrying themselves, half the teams would have been written off to where they would have had a couple losses under their belt. And who knows? Their records might have been different because Jaden Daniels was playing and cost the Commanders a lot more than just losses here or there. So again, look at the overall. When you come down to it, there's a huge difference. People started saying, "Oh yeah, well it's a soft schedule. Commanders weren't doing anything." Since when? Did anybody expect Jaden Daniels to get injured? No. Did they expect to have that much of a problem? No. So what's going on? Anything can happen. You know? You look at the Bills and they almost have like a similar schedule. Some people are on, some people are off. Some people got it that week, some people don't. Some people can actually kick it into high gear. The problem that people have to understand and realize is when it comes down to it, you still have to play the game. You still have to throw the ball. Still have to catch it. Still have to score with it. Still have to make a difference with it. Play a soft team and undermine that team. And guess what? You're losing. And what does that mean for you? It means you lost. You bum. Patriots went out and they took advantage of every possible chance that they could. And they made a difference within some of the ones they did because some of them were blowouts. Where if you look at the flip side, especially with Carolina, where we blew them out, hell, look at the Rams. They almost lost to Carolina in the wild card. You get that, TikTok? Wild card. What does that mean if that happened? Well, the Niners would have played a different game. They might have got their butts kicked, and then the Panthers would have played Seattle. And who knows if the outcome would have been the same? Because you don't. That's the point of when people sit there and whine about a soft schedule. Okay? Yes, I saw the teams as bums. But does looking at a team that's a bum team mean anything? No. Look at some of the bum teams that have pulled off wins. Look at some of the bum teams that sit there and still create issue after issue with other teams. Look at sometimes Cleveland, where they play and their defense is somewhat on point, but their offense still blows. But they cause low-scoring games because their offense can't get up, they can't get up from the couch. What happens with their defense? Hey, we shut them down. Yeah, but we can't score. What are we doing then? I don't know, but we can't score. We'll go try. Huh. Oh, hey, we got to the 2-yard line and fumbled. What does the defense do? Safety. Hey, they won the game. They safetied. They won the game. See the difference? Sometimes it comes down to what you got. Sometimes it just becomes pure luck. Other times, it's just the moment you're riding. I'm not going to fault it because at times it could be a great thing. Other times it's going to be the most stupidest thing in the world. But the way I'm officially seeing it, as I do right now, New England Patriots are in the they're in the Super Bowl. Okay? And I'm not saying it to where I'm going to knock the Broncos. Not going to say it to where I'm going to knock the Houston Texans. I'm not going to knock it to where I talk about the LA Chargers in a bad light. 3 top-tier defenses came in. We gave it our all. We stepped up. We walked out the door. The battle that Titans like that put up is what makes a big difference when you play the game. You can't just say they're soft. You can't also just say, oh, they're the best in the business. The best in the business can also be exposed. Hate to break it to anybody, but anybody can almost win a game. Sometimes they do. Takes an interception, takes a fumble, takes a moment where you lose your footing, and next thing you know, you're down when you could have got another 5 yards. Nothing is truly soft. And again, nothing is truly hard. But from me to the New England Patriots, you went from bottom to booty. The difference is bottom is flat. It's not really anything comfy. A booty is glorious, round, lovely. Receiver. I didn't think that was going to sound as bad. Oh. I think I'll take a phrase from somebody. The reason why the Patriots are probably in, because Taylor Swift wasn't available and Cardi B was around. One singer for another singer, and Stephon Diggs. To me, it's a lovely moment. And I might even be a Kodak moment. But all I know is it's a moment that we're going to call a night. So again, to the New England Patriots, congrats on the win. Your 2025-2026 AFC champions will be taking on the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. And man, I'm looking forward to that game. For us, to you, in every aspect. Thank you. Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. YouTube. And soon to be Spotify. Yes, we have a Spotify, and I say soon to be is because I have to upload it after this. But to everyone out there, thank you. This has been Boston Concessions. I'm your host, Topher. To anybody in the East Coast, be safe, be easy, enjoy the snow, Don't go crazy and don't push it. And to everybody else around, well, if you got the snow, be careful. It's wild. To everybody, have a good night.